Hey folks, we got a great one today. We got Tracy here with Sakata, and we're talking about a new way of farming. You heard me, a new way of farming, a new way of growing your own food that you got to listen to, because this is extremely interesting stuff. And then after that, Tracy's going to give us a quick fire recommendations on what you should plant for your fall planting. Welcome to the Row by Row Gardening Show, the best dadgum gardening show on the internet, where we talk about gardening, a little bit of cooking, and growing your own food. Now sit back and enjoy. All right, man, let's dig in here.
Okay.
CEA, Tracy.
Yeah, so tell me how you heard about this first of all.
I heard about this actually from y'all.
Oh, really?
Oh, I was reading some stuff from Sakata, and I actually run across this, and I said, man, this is
CEA,
interesting.
right?
CEA, which is Controlled Environmental Agriculture.
Right.
And I dug into it, and I was like, man, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So tell us what CEA, Controlled
Environment Agriculture.
Is it environmental?
Controlled environment.
And Controlled Environment Agriculture.
Which is self-explanatory, right?
Yep.
You're bringing traditional field agriculture indoors. Mm-hmm. And it can be in many different forms. It's basically anything that's inside and controlled. So you're controlling as many of the elements that you can when growing a product. And typically right now it's for a lot of salad greens. Mm-hmm. To make those salad mixes that we like to buy in the grocery store. It's really big in tomatoes too. A lot of your cherry and grape tomatoes that you buy in the grocery store now are grown this way. Cucumbers. They're getting strawberries. It's becoming really big. So it's growing in the crops, but it's quite interesting, and we've been delving into it more and more the past few years.
So here in middle Georgia, around Warner Robins, there's this huge facility up there. These facilities are popping up everywhere.
They are.
Florida, Georgia, everywhere. And it's acres and acres and acres of greenhouse. And these greenhouses are used to grow tomatoes and cucumbers in year round.
Year round.
Yeah.
365 days a year.
That's
a lot of times 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you mentioned it, they're popping up mostly around urban centers, because the key thing that really made these, people look at these and invest in them is trying to get produce that's more local, reduce the transportation costs, and have traceability of where your product comes from. So that's really pushed in the past few years, these things growing.
And you can control, tell me if I'm wrong here, but you can control the food safety on there a lot better with these controlled
Exactly. A lot of times, a lot of these facilities are no touch.
Right. Robots.
Yeah, robots.
And you
a little scary, but that's where we're going.
Just talk about the economics a little bit.
Yeah.
We was talking about before the show here.
Yeah.
And a lot of this money is coming out of Silicon Valley. This is venture capitalist money pushing this agenda, and I use agenda loosely there, pushing this movement throughout. So it's kind of a thing that they're moving out and trying to make work.
They are. They see this as sort of the future that we're going to have more and more people to feed. We're going to have more and more issues with electricity, with water, with diseases, with transportation, supply chain that we're seeing now. So this is sort of like it's not a move to take over traditional agriculture. It's a move to provide alternatives and to have a portion of the market that will offer this alternative.
Right.
So, but the venture capitalists, as you mentioned, they put a lot of money into this. So the key now, this is still early days. So the key in the next 3 to 5 years is to see who can make this profitable. There are some people already making it profitable, but it's about making the numbers work and then having a good product. So I buy it. You probably buy at the grocery store right now.
Yep.
You have clamshells of the lettuce mixes that you buy, and you've got ones that are CEA grown right next to ones that are field grown in the grocery store.
Right.
And you can read the label and tell, but otherwise, you're looking at the same product.
Well, it's the same thing that we do as we grow our own food under these light kits.
Yeah.
We've talked about growing baby lettuces. We're growing baby lettuces on these light kits year round. We're growing microgreens year round.
Yeah.
So it's the same exact thing, just done on a commercial level.
It is, and you have controlled environment agriculture things that you offer through your website. Like you mentioned, the kitchen garden set. So it's taking those lights, it's growing like lettuces to a baby stage, or tiny small tomatoes like the little birdies, right?
Yep.
So it's that, times 1,000 of these things.
Right.
In a warehouse.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's tell us a couple of examples of farms that are doing this right here.
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the controlled environment agriculture umbrella really has under it quite a few different growing methods. So it can include greenhouses under glass, growing, where it's still controlled because it's indoors, but you're still getting natural light, and it's done on like hydroponic ponds or systems, with hydroponic, there's like fancy names for all these different types of systems that they all have. But Revel Greens is an example of one that's really growing. They've got a giant Midwest facility. They just opened another one out in the West, and now they're looking down in Texas as well. So they grow under glass in hydroponic ponds.
So they're strictly hydroponic. But this controlled environmental agriculture is soil-based and hydroponics.
It is.
Okay.
So there are some that, like a lot of the tomato growers will use, the tomatoes will be in like bags of soil. So yeah, it runs the gamut. And then some, there's not water or soil. So some grow aeroponically. So vertical farms will often do this. So vertical farms are also indoors, but they're enclosed in buildings with no windows. And it's stacks and stacks and stacks of plants and trays, or in really robotic systems that may have soil, may not. They may just be on like styrofoam planes where the roots are growing out and then are just misted. So aero farms is an example of a vertical farm that grows like that. So it's just misting the roots, and they're in nothing, and then you just cut the tops with the lettuce mixes, and you have a clean product.
With this aero farms, they're the ones that really use a lot of the robotics.
Yes, yeah. So vertical farms that are indoors and with all of the lighting systems that are truly growing 24/7, 365, that's a lot of technology involved. Yeah. But they are able to control, like, think about it, you can control the temperature, you can control the humidity, the water, everything. Insects, diseases. And think about, we breed, right? We breed so that these plants don't have the diseases that people will encounter in the field. Well, we really have to rethink this, because now, these guys don't care about that.
Right.
They could care less how many races of diseases that this particular spinach may have or not have.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't matter anymore.
Wow. So the benefits of this is, if we think about it, okay, so we're able to eat fresher foods because we have that supply and it's closer to us.
Right.
Because the move is to have these farms closer to big population areas.
Exactly.
So there's not a lot of transportation move there, because we know since COVID hit, transportation is a big issue.
Huge
issue. So we don't have that thing to deal with anymore, is moving our food. So you and I are able to eat fresher foods more often, 365 days out of the year.
Right. And like you said, if it's apparent at any time, it's been lately. And even specifically, I hear horror stories with lettuce and salad greens, right, being trucked from California to here. All of a sudden, those prices in the grocery store, I'm sure you've noticed, 3 heads of romaine used to be $3.99, now it's $8.99. So, one of the things with controlled environment agriculture that they're really having to work on is, like we said, getting it profitable, making the cost work. So in the beginning, you would see the cost of that type of product up here, the cost of a field-grown lettuce coming from, California down here. Transportation costs, these guys working on their methods has, really evened the playing ground. And it's attainable now for a lot more people.
Are you seeing any small players out there? Or all?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah.
These are not just massive companies with
They're not.
huge amounts of cash from venture capital.
It is amazing. I mean, we've really, like I said, we've delved into this the past few years, and they run the gamut from a half acre to 500 acres worth of growing space.
And I know this because I see it. There is a small percentage of people out there that may be 1 or 2 man operations running these small microgreen operations.
Microgreens is in this envelope as well.
Right.
And yeah, we've got some guys doing some very small but very profitable. Microgreens has been an extremely profitable business. But again, something you can do at home as well.
Yep. A few little things there that you got to get figured out. You got to get your moisture figured out, and you got to get your air circulation, all that.
Yes.
Because your biggest component there is mold. That's your
Yes.
biggest enemy.
Yes.
So once you get that figured out, man, you can just pump those things. Well, we can cook microgreens in 10 days.
Yeah, yeah.
So think about a 10-day turnaround. Like,
Right. And these baby greens for lettuces, I mean, I don't know about you, but I like the baby size green.
I do too.
I mean, I like to go in and cut and cut and cut, which you can do in the backyard. But even homeowners can do this, like with your light kits that we talked about. You can do what these controlled environment agriculture companies are doing in your own house as well.
On baby greens, what do you think? Around 21 days?
Yep, we're seeing 18 to 24 days. Yep, yep.
Yeah, we've done a good bit of research with that with our grow light kits, and it seems to be like 21 days is the magic number that
Yeah.
we're starting to cut these. And we cut them 2 to 3 times.
Oh, yeah.
And be done with it, move on.
And mix it up too. It's
Yeah.
not just lettuce. So you're talking about lettuce, arugula. I had, if he watches this, I had my
Yeah.
brother-in-law call me the other day. He's like, all right, have you seen the price of arugula in the grocery store? I'm
Yeah.
like, yes. He goes, I need some arugula seed. I'm
Yeah.
going to start growing my own indoors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we've been doing is we grow arugula. We may grow 1 flat of that with 2 to 3 flats of something else, because you don't take a lot
There
of
you
it
go.
in there
Yep.
to mix it in, kind of spices it up a little bit.
Yep.
We've been doing it I'll be honest with everybody, you know, we don't do it religiously like we should all the time. We try to keep a flat or 2 growing all the time. But if you really wanted to grow most of your own food, if you sat down and stayed on a strict schedule,
Yeah.
you could grow all your greens inside a little
Absolutely.
small setup there year
You
round.
could. Yep.
So,
Yeah, you're right. You just have to be consistent. So,
Yep.
you know, every 10 days or so.
right.
And you could just have salad
Yep, all the time.
all the time.
So if there's anybody out there that's interested in this type of agriculture, Sakata and Tracy here has done a wonderful job setting up this guide. It's Sakata's quick and profitable master guide to controlled environment agriculture. And we're going to put a link up there so that you can find this right here. But it has all different kind of things in there, showing the benefits and the things you should look out for and the varieties.
And the varieties. Yep. It's a lot more than lettuce.
Did you put this together?
That's it.
Oh, that's pretty
Our
good.
marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, you was responsible for the meat and potatoes of it, I guess. Yeah. It took me probably an hour. I stayed digging in there on it. It's really interesting.
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
interesting when you can see how many different things you can actually grow besides lettuce to go with lettuce and things you would
Cilantro.
never think of.
Yep.
Collards,
Yeah.
bok choy
Oh,
as
yeah.
baby leaf
Yeah.
for a salad.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yep. Beets.
Beet greens.
Beet greens,
Yep.
yeah.
Swiss chard greens.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something we did this year. This is getting off the subject a little bit. Have you ever had sweet potato greens?
No.
Whoa, you don't know what you're missing out on.
Really?
I have always heard of it because it's an Asian
I've
thing.
never heard of it.
Oh man, it's probably the best stir fry I've ever had.
Really?
So you take the sweet potato greens and
Yeah.
stir fry.
At a certain stage?
We did.
Or
We
does
just
that matter?
we
Just
did-
whenever?
We just went. We got them whenever. We just get the leaves because you know sweet potatoes got big
it's
leaves.
long, yeah.
Just take the leaves out. We didn't trim the veins out or anything.
Okay.
We just cut them close. Wow.
Huh, and saute them.
Saute them.
Well, that's neat.
Off the chain.
All right, I'll try it.
Yep. All right, so as we promised you, Tracy is going to do a quick
and dirty.
fire, quick and dirty
My favorites, right?
favorites and why they are your favorites for fall planting. Because now is the time, especially you guys in Zone 8, you need to be getting them into your seed starting trays. And if you're going to plant in ground, then you tell me what you think here. I like to do my in ground fall planting, such as turnips and mustard, things like that, 1st of October.
Yes, I just ordered my seed.
Yep.
So I can prepare. So
Yep.
it is time.
Yep, cool.
Yep. So am I just going to quick fire this?
Yep. Yep.
Beets.
All right.
You know my favorite beet.
Yep.
What's my favorite beet?
Merlin.
Merlin is my favorite beet. You don't like beets? Try this one anyway. This beet is like candy. 16% bricks. The sweetest beet you will find anywhere. Gorgeous. Just
Now, is Merlin, is it a monogerm or
you
multigerm?
a multi-germ.
Okay.
Yeah. What you have is a multi-germ.
So it is a great one to plant direct seed. 'Cause some
Yes.
people actually do transplant beets.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not.
I've
I'm not
never
one of
bothered.
them. I'm not one of them.
No.
I'm not one of them. But some people do that. I prefer to plant them in the ground.
Yeah.
Because they're really tender. They're
Yeah.
really hard when the
Yeah, they don't really like to be transplanted.
Yeah.
So it's better to just take
Yep.
it easy and direct
And
someone.
that is a great one
Yeah.
right there, Merlin.
Yeah. So broccoli, green magic.
Green Magic.
No matter who you are, no
I'm
matter what
planting-
your conditions.
I'm planting my second crop today.
Yeah, yeah. It is an everybody's broccoli. You will get a good broccoli, and that's why I like it. You just
Yep.
don't have to worry about it. The other big thing is you can do it in fall and you can do it in spring. A lot of broccolis you have to be careful. It might just be good for one or the other. So
You know,
magic
Green
is-
Magic is not the one that's probably the sexiest one out of the whole bunch.
No.
But it's the tried and true. If you want to
Yes.
grow one broccoli and you don't
Exactly.
care what time it is, that's the one
Yeah.
to grow.
I grow that one because despite what I do, I can be lazy in my
Yeah,
own garden
yeah.
and I don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
Cabbage.
Yep.
Bobcat.
Bobcat.
It's an older one. But again, why do I like it? It is sweet. I love the flavor. There's a lot of cabbages that are newer, but a lot of times they've been bred for things for big farmers to worry about. Bobcat tastes really good. The other thing I like about it is not overwhelming, so it's a 4 to 6 pound head.
Which is all we really need for a
That's
2 to
all
3
you
or
need.
4.
I mean, if you're
Yeah.
going to cut up a whole cabbage,
Yeah.
like what are you going to do with that?
Right.
Except make 10 things of soup.
Right.
Like you need a manageable cabbage. So
Right.
I like Bobcat.
Yep.
Chinese cabbage, China Star.
China
So
stuff.
have you ever grown Chinese cabbage?
I
that's-
have.
Okay.
I have.
I mean, I love it because of the texture of the leaves. And again, China Star it's slow to bolt because some Chinese cabbages can bolt around here, especially.
Yep.
So it's good to have one that's really bolt tolerant. It's 70 days, so that's pretty early too.
Right.
But I like the texture, and I really like chopping it up. Well, I love Asian food, so it's really nice for
Let me tell you
stir
something you may not know.
fries. Yeah.
Chinese cabbage is a great trap crop.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh, I wonder
but
why.
the worms and the insects love it.
Oh, yeah.
And they will
yeah.
go to it and leave some of your other things
That is
alone.
true.
Yep.
That is true.
Yep.
The worms do love it.
Yep.
You know, I have a really good egg roll recipe, and I love making
Oh, yeah.
with China
Yep.
Star. Collards, we can't go without collards.
Gotta have
so
Southern
Top
collards.
Munch 2.0
Yep.
is the standby. You know, when I picked collards when I was young with my grandfather,
Mm-hmm.
one plant took up a 30-gallon black garbage bag.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need something a little more easy to handle. And that's why I like Top Munch 2.0. It's like straight, upright. You cut it once. It's one big, full armful that you can deal with a little better.
Now, rumor says there's
Yeah.
a little bit of a tight seed shortage on Top Bunch.
That is true.
Okay.
But you're always think ahead. So you should be okay, right?
Right.
That's right.
Right. But they could be a little bit of a tightening on collards.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. That happened a couple years ago.
Right.
And it's happening again this
Okay.
year. Yeah, yeah. And that's across the board.
Right.
So get your colors early,
Yeah.
basically. Kohlrabi, that's a different one. Quick Star is my favorite.
I grew it last year.
Did you? Did you like it?
I did.
Yeah.
I was amazed how much quicker it was. I grew up besides Conan, I believe.
Yeah.
I grew up beside that, which is good because I had a crop come in and then I had another crop
one, yeah.
behind that. That Quick Star, man, what?
It's quick. It's like 35 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was. It
It's
was like,
crazy.
boom.
You're like, wait, is that right?
Now, do you
Yeah.
always transplant that?
I do.
I
Yeah,
do
that
too.
one's easier. You
Yeah.
know what Quick Star is good for also is microgreens.
Really?
Kohlrabi microgreens are amazing. So a lot of people also have never even had kohlrabi. I love it in slaw. I think
do too.
That's how you like it too. But in matchsticks too, to like put with like carrots and stuff, it's really good.
Never thought about that.
Yeah. So lettuce. Okay, we could have 3 shows about lettuce.
Oh,
so
lettuce,
where do
yeah.
you start? I like to put lettuce in a row in front of like my ornamental flowers just because it's so pretty. Endless. A couple of good standbys for here are red tide, which is like a buttery leaf lettuce.
It's a pretty
But
lettuce.
it's very ornamental,
Yep.
and it's one of the best sellers all over the U.S. Again, it's sort of like green magic broccoli. It'll do perfect for everybody.
And that's also a good baby green one.
It is a good baby green one.
Yep.
As is, so Braid Part is the other one, romaine.
Right.
It's really upright, really full, but it's fast, and it really takes heat, so it's great around here.
Okay.
It's also good though for baby leaf. So you can get your head of romaine, or you can have your little baby leaves.
I'm a big romaine fan.
I love romaine.
romaine
I
too.
could eat romaine every day.
Yep.
Bok Choi. So, you know, Joy Choi has sort of always been the standard big Bok Choi. I like the little ones. So you have one called Thing King Choi, hard to say, or yeah. So it's small. So when you go to the grocery store, They sell now mostly, if you're going to buy Bok Choi, it's like a bag.
Right.
And the bag's got like 4 to 6 little Bok Choys in it. I love those because then you don't have to use a whole one at one time. And you can just throw a couple of them, you know, in the pan and saute them.
Yep.
And use them whole. Just cut them in half or grill them. They're really good grilled in half. So I like those mini ones like that. Radish. So I'm old school when it comes to radish. There's tons of nice, pretty, perfect hybrid radishes out there. I like Easter egg. Like, it's beautiful. Like, why would you want plain little round red balls when you can have Easter egg? I just think it's beautiful. So it's white, pink, red. Yeah. It's just as easy. It's just as tasty. So somebody taught me how to eat radishes recently. How do you eat them?
We slice them up just like everybody else does. Yeah.
I do too, raw, but put them with a little bit of softened butter and coarse salt. I was like, well, that just sounds weird and fancy, and I tried it, and it was delicious. I mean, butter. Yeah. But try it. Butter and salt on your raw radishes. I will. All right?
You know, radishes is something every beginner gardener should grow.
Oh, yeah. Perfect thing to start with kids, right? When you say, how do you get your kids just to grow things? Start with radish. Why? 21 days, they'll see something that they grew themselves. So, a couple more. Okay, so turnip. You're a greens person or a roots person?
I don't like the roots.
Okay, so I don't like either one really, but
I like the tops.
Yeah. So all top, if you like the tops, all top is the best because it's going to put all its energy into the tops. Yep. And you can cut it again and again.
That's the one I grow every year. All top.
I mean, you know, the roots are just the old-fashioned root type, but if you want the tops, which seems to be more popular now, all top is good. I have a couple more to mention. Kale. So Blue Ridge kale is really great as a baby green. You'll see it in the CEA guide.
I did not know that.
It's really neat as a baby green. But as the full-grown kale, of course, you know, you can treat it just like everyone else. It's a really good performer. And then something else to remember for this time of year is you can still grow herbs. In fact, several herbs prefer the cooler weather. So you think, a lot of people think about herbs as a summer crop. But cilantro in particular.
It does a lot better in cooler weather.
A lot better in the fall and spring. Dill. So like dill bouquet is another one that is much more acclimated to the fall. And then parsley. So flat leaf Italian parsley. So I always wait to do my fall plantings for those 3 herbs.
Oh, I'm not a big parsley guy.
Really?
I should do more than that. Yeah,
well,
just never garnish.
I wasn't because it was always that curly type. Yeah. It's the garnish, right? But the flat parsley, I use it on a lot now because it's got way more oils and it's very refreshing.
What about mustards?
So mustards are good now. Savannah is a good one.
Savannah, and I tell people about Savannah all the time. It's
not a true mustard.
It's not?
It's not. It's a cross. With something else.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense. I didn't realize that.
Yep. So that's why it's a little bit different taste.
I was wondering why the shape of the leaf was like it was. That's why. Yep. But it's a lot smoother. So I tell people, if you're not a big fan of regular mustards, you got to try Savannah because it's a lot smoother.
That's exactly right. In fact, you've chosen why. I'm going to go back to the CEA for a minute. Some of these big growers are loving Savannah as a baby leaf to put with their salads because of that different flavor.
Wow, that would be interesting. Yeah. So grow your little Savannah mustard to put in with your salad, kind of kick it up a notch.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool.
So that's all I got.
That's it. That was good. Okay. That was good. Yeah. So, you know, every week on the show, we have the old goat on the show.
Yes, I learned the hard way one time by giving the secret away. So I am not doing that this time.
So we got to draw on the old goat there. And if you find the old goat on the set here, in the comments below, put where you found the old goat at. And then the following week, we would do a drawing as we're fixing to do now. And we will send you some coveted Hoss merchandise. And Tracy, I'm going to give you the pleasure of the draw.
Don't be mad at me. Okay, who is the winner?
Oklahoma Chris. That's an easy name. I always get these names I can't pronounce. Oklahoma Chris. So Oklahoma Chris, send us your shipping address and we will get you something really nice in the mail.
Nice.
Yep.
Do you have a joke for me?
A what?
A joke?
I do.
Okay.
I do have a joke. Today's corny joke day, isn't it? I was going to save it, but I'm going to go ahead and hit you with a corny joke.
I'm not going to know it, but...
Okay, how do you cheer up a sweet potato?
I want to get one of these one day. I don't know.
You got to butter them up. And
Poor radish. I need your
poor
radish butter him
yeah.
up.
We also got garden spotlight. This is something we just started doing not too long ago. So John Bain out of Bell Buckle, Tennessee. Bell Buckle, Tennessee. That's a wonderful name in it. Sent us some pictures of his garden.
Oh.
And he is in zone 7. Let's take a look here. Take a look at his tomatoes right there.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Does he trellis these up then?
Yeah, it looks like. So look at these pictures right here.
Wow.
And he prunes them. Look how he prunes them up. Let's get
That's a lot of nice work.
Yep. And I'm assuming that's an indeterminate type that
Yeah.
he is pruned up. So good looking garden there, John. John is zone 7. Got some corn growing there, but looks like tomatoes may be his main crop.
Yeah.
He used some metal fence posts there to keep on.
So that's nice because I would imagine he's going to get less disease. There's a lot better airflow there.
Yep.
And he's probably going to get more picks like that too.
Yep.
So that's a good way to do it.
Yep.
A lot of commercial guys sometimes do that for that reason.
Oh yeah.
Good job.
All right, so also we got strawberry plants. We still got a few left. Go ahead and go to our website, check out our strawberry plants and get them ordered. Chandler variety. Are you familiar with Chandler strawberry?
Oh yes, I love Chandler.
You know, to
I used to
me,
grow that when I was down in South Carolina. Yeah.
that's the sweetest strawberry
It is good.
to me.
Yep.
And we got Chandler strawberries. Still got a few for sale there, so go get those on pre-sale. We will be shipping those out before you know it. So, all right, see what else we got here. We got the old goat drawn, we got the garden spotlight, we got the strawberries. Sounds like it's pretty much it.
That's it.
We got you all information you need today on controlled environment agriculture, something you're probably not aware of. We thought we would bring it to you. It's very interesting to me. And then you got those quick fire varieties of what you need to plant for your fall planting. When in zone 7 would you're already ahead of the game a little bit.
No, so I will be planting. Yeah, I will be planting October 1st actually.
Really?
As well.
Yeah, that's my.
I mean, I ordered my seeds because I like to sit there and go through them and really do a lot of planning. But
yep, cool. Thank y'all for joining us. Now it's time for you to get off that couch and get dirty.